All right, everyone. So, welcome back to another episode of the Conversational Healing Series. This is my grandmother, my biological grandmother, Wilma. And today we're going to be talking about, faith and just how her faith has gotten her through different things, in her journey. And so, Graham, so we'll start off, your earliest memory of, your introduction to God and, and what that was like for you.
hmm Well, I grew up believing in God. Um, when I was much younger, I knew there's a God, and I was always taught to do the right things. But really, I think I came into my faith. I would say, um, but 25 years ago. Um, no, I would say more than 25 years ago. I slowly started coming into reading my Bible, studying my Bible, um, and understanding what um, the Bible is teaching.
Okay.
Um, and I got very serious as the years go. Um, I want to say that I really and truly started reading and understanding um, the Bible more like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and going to Bible study at my church, um, listening to the TV and hearing things over and over, and that's when I really come into my faith.
Okay. So
And mhm.
prior to that, um, what do you think? So I know you said like hearing it over and over and kind of
Mhm.
getting serious, but
Mhm.
prior to that, what do you think? How do you compare your faith, prior to that? So what was it that wasn't reaching you? If there was, because I know I've always known you to go to church,
Yeah.
and as long as I can personally remember,
Mhm.
I've seen you studying the Bible
Yes.
and reading.
That's why I
So
said that it's more than 25 years.
so you know,
Well,
what was the difference for you? What made you start? What was it prior to that maybe wasn't clicking for you, or I don't want to say it
mm,
wasn't clicking, but
yeah, I
what was it prior to that
I guess
that
because when I grew up, um, I don't want to say it's routine, but it was.
mhm.
You go to church with your parents in the morning, and then 3 o'clock in the afternoon there's um, Sunday school. That's how we did it in Guyana. And you learn the different things, the children's hymns and things like that, and then you go home, and that was it. In the back of your mind, in my mind, um, I always know that there's a higher power, and he's there, and I can call on him anytime. um, but I don't think it was anything not clicking. It
Mhm.
was that what I was getting is what I see my parents do.
Okay.
But as I got on my own and started to think for myself, then I realized that, I got to read the Bible.
Mhm.
You just don't listen to what they tell you in Sunday school. And when I came over here, and you can listen to so many different preachers on the TV, and things explained to you, because before, they read the Bible, but nobody explained anything to you.
Gotcha.
So it just evolved from there. I would listen, I would put things together, I would read the Bible myself. I have been reading the Bible in a year. I think it's about over 25 years I've been reading the same Bible for a year, every year. And there's many times, very often, that I also read the Bible and didn't understand some things, and then the next year, when I'm reading it, I'm like, I can't remember reading this, but I know I read it.
Yeah.
So that's more or less I can tell you is just a thing that happens,
Mhm.
and it's continuing to happen. I get to the point now that I know verses and where they come from, and I can tell people, not a whole lot, but I can tell people where to find some things, and I hope that I can continue to get that kind of knowledge. And then I think it was in 1986 that Alvin found God, and now I have him. He never put it on me, but I'm seeing him with his Bible and reading, and I have to say that piqued my curiosity, because he would be so engrossed in this Bible.
Mhm.
So I guess that's part of what got me more into the Bible, because I was seeing him changing from one person to a better person, reading his Bible, and that too really pushed me along as to, I want to know what's in this Bible. I want to learn the Bible. I want to be able to read the Bible and understand it. So, and until his death, that's what we did every morning.
Yeah, I could. I definitely remember you guys. Every morning. I could count on waking up, knowing somebody was up reading the Bible.
Yes.
And it's funny because I don't have any other memory of you not doing it. It was always like, if I came in the room and knocked on, and you were in prayer, it was like, oh, she's praying, walk away, So that was definitely a good visual foundation for me personally. And seeing that you guys, were so devoted to, doing that, and you guys would always give us the daily word to read, as a starter.
Yeah.
But I certainly can. I think it's hard because when you're a child and you're going to church, I think we all feel like it's routine, right?
Yes.
Because there's just a lack of understanding that we're going to have about the Bible in general, right? So you start off just kind of going to church and, going to Sunday school and learning. But I think it's funny how I think everybody probably starts off feeling like it's just routine.
Yes. It's a place you have to go.
Exactly. Exactly. And I know that you've been lucky enough to have a church that you found
Yes.
that we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And just for me personally, I, just when you think you find a place that you really want to call your church home, it's like, I guess something happens, or
Yes.
you're just not feeling it anymore.
No.
So just talk about how you were able to stay at the same church, and if you had challenges, how you were able to overcome them and still attend that church.
Well, the longest church I think is when I was up here. As a child, again, that was, routine. When I came up here and I started to go to church, my first church was the Methodist church in Richfield, because the Congregational church was not far from, but if I have to walk to church, I couldn't make it. And the Methodist church was right there.
Okay.
So, and the Methodist service and everything is like a real replica of a Congregational church service. So I started going there in Richfield, and then we moved to Danbury, and I started to go to church. I found the Congregational church in Danbury, and I had to. There's many times I read the Bible, in church, and that's, I think, that's just about when I started doing the read the Bible in a year.
Okay.
That's when I started doing that, and I don't think I was that serious even then, and not that I was that serious. I wasn't feeling it. Because sometimes I know Reverend Fagerberg. I used to, I liked his service because but then like Mary Lou, her services wasn't reaching me. But anyway, we moved to Virginia, and then I started going to the Bible study, and we had different ones, but then we had a few that really was getting into the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a young man who knows the Bible. He can quote any scripture. He doesn't even have to look in the Bible.
Wow.
And his Bible study is really good. So along with, I've been reading the Bible, and I'm like, well, no, I got to do what he's doing. That's bring me to the point where I am, and
So little motivations here and there, helped you get along the way.
It did.
That's good.
So because it was, although it sometimes it didn't get me, but I always, if I anywhere and I hear something, it would strike me, and then I really would get serious. And sometimes I go and look to find out the passage, if I can find it. But I think right now I am really at a point where I know my God. I know He's there. I don't think I could have really get through the last 6 or 7 years since I started going blind, because my faith is so strong that got me through. Because there's many times I would just, seeing my sight going, and my faith is what's keeping me. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. I could attest to that, seeing that, over time, you know, it's definitely, an inspiration, to me, because honestly, like after, grandpa passed recently, I was still going through, a very difficult time emotionally,
Yeah.
but to kind of see how you were grieving, but your strength and your faith,
Yes.
it actually did something for me, like being able to see that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of put things into perspective for me, and it really, really helped me. Like I honestly can say, watching you go through that, it actually helped me. And it was really that was like something that I needed to see, because being here and you being in Virginia, I'm in Connecticut. I don't have anybody that's like around me that has the discipline in their faith that you would have. And so since it's been a really long time since I've been around that, it was just refreshing to see it again. And it was something that I did need. I needed to see that. I needed to feel that. And it really made a huge difference in how I was able to, manage my feelings.
That was done truthfully, 100% truthfully, purposely. Because I know what everybody was going through. And I prayed and I asked God that I don't break down. I do my crying, because in their home, there's so many things to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
And coming into the kitchen is where he was. So I felt that he's gone. And I'm the head of the house. And I wanted y'all to remember him and try to not to break down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I made up my mind that I was going to show you all that losing him wasn't the last thing in the world and the worst thing in the world, because I feel that it was his time.
Yeah.
And when I see everything, I think he left us in a good place.
Yeah, I do agree.
So my thing was that, as I said, I'm the elder now. And I have to lead by example. But that doesn't mean that I have to not show emotion.
Right.
But we got to get along. We got to get ahead. And the man that I know wouldn't want us to be crying and all those things.
Right.
He would want us to be strong. And I had to be the one, the leader of the strength. And that's how I'm living. And that's where I get my strength from. Because I have lost a lot of my sight in the last 2 months. And it is scary as anything. But my faith is strong, and I know something is going to happen. 100% I feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have to be strong for you all, because I know I'm the example.
Do you ever feel like there's pressure with that?
No,
And I don't think, I never thought you did either. It doesn't,
no.
it doesn't even come across like that.
No.
It just feels like that's who God made you.
Yeah.
That's
I
like your
don't feel any
nature.
pressure. No. I feel lucky because to see how we all come together, and I know you're not into it. Godfrey and Terrence is the ones who really did all the things that I have to do, but that's their place,
Mm-hmm.
and that's for them to do. You can't do it. Tessa can't do it. And we've gotten through a whole lot of things, but I draw strength from all you all. I draw a lot of strength from all y'all, and that's what's keeping me.
Wow.
That's what's keeping me, because I know, if I don't feel like being home, I know your door's open.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence, Godfrey. I think my granddaughter. I mean, Daryl already telling me that he wants me to come up. I mean, there's so many doors open in my immediate family, and I feel tonight that I am one lucky woman.
You are, Graham. You're definitely
That's all I can
blessed.
tell you.
Oh. Well, we certainly, of course, you're the backbone of the family, pretty much. You've
Mhm.
always been. Just like I said, not trying to repeat myself, but just
Mhm.
seeing your strength through this, even though, you're still grieving,
Yeah.
is just really, really inspiring, because like I said, in my time of need, I kind of like shut everybody out, and I retreated. I did something completely different, but I was able to see through you how, you could still be, you
Mm-hmm.
regardless,
Yeah.
and still find strength from your faith. So,
Yes.
it's actually, it's just ironic that it's a new year, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely motivated me. I actually read every day now,
Mhm.
read the Bible every day now,
Yeah.
every morning. I do my devotion every morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I've even started, just meditating
Mm-hmm.
and getting my own thoughts together.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely, having an elder, but an elder with wisdom, is just a really big blessing. So, just wanted to thank you for, for participating, Grandma, and just know that when it comes down to it, I always call you for advice, and
Yeah.
you're never afraid to tell me when I'm out of line or when I'm wrong. And that's I guess that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Never afraid to be honest, and regardless as to how I might take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that wisdom is something that I strive to have. And
Thank you.
and I see that the way to get that is to just be diligent in my faith,
Exactly.
read the Bible,
Exactly.
and but you're the perfect example of that. So
Thank you.
I always say, if I could be a quarter of the person you are, then I feel good.
Thank you.
I always say that. So guys, this is just, another episode, but this one is specific to just having someone in your life that is an elder, and they just have that wisdom, and how do they get it. And as you see, you just don't get it just by living life. You have to apply yourself
That's right.
in some sort of way. So for everyone out there that, is going through something or grieving, there is a way that you can manage, grieving and still have your faith. And if you're lucky enough to have somebody around, like my grandmother in your life, then, that'll be a living testimony as well. But, we should all strive for just a better relationship spiritually. And, just try to love one another. There's a lot of hate going on. So we should just try to love each other. And so that's it. We're going to wrap up this episode. So thank you so much, Grandma, for participating.
And thank you for doing this. I think it's something good.
Thank you, Graham. All right, guys. So stay tuned. Some more videos are on their way, different topics. Don't be afraid to subscribe, like, or comment, about anything in the video. And until next time, you guys have a great night.